Innovation revolution right now. Every firm, every startup, every established business is trying to innovate. I just heard someone this morning say to me, you know, I'm under pressure to develop 2 new products a year. And quite frankly, we don't know where to go half the time. And I thought it was a very honest thing to say, but there's a pressure from the top to say, oh, we must be innovating, we must be innovating. And I think to really truly innovate with a company, you've got to first of all understand what your brand's about. Because if you've understood your brand, you kind of know what direction you should be innovating in to make it relevant to your customers. And it tries to take away this sort of innovation for innovation's sake. Because if you don't, ultimately, your innovation is only sort of skin deep and lacks real substance. And we all today need to cut to the chase and arrive at a product, a service that's new or that's relevant quickly. We're under a huge amount of pressure because we're watching our competitors and we're watching each other, and everyone's under a bit of pressure to get things done. So I want to first of all maybe just sort of stop the presentation a bit and just say, well, what do people think a brand is? Any suggestions of what a brand is? You're smiling there. What do you think? So expectations, in one word. Okay, expectations, anything else? Trust. That's kind of part of a brand, it's not really the core thing. Image. Indicator of origin, yeah. A personality, yeah. Quality, identify. Value attached. Yeah, I mean, lots of interesting things. Actually, the first answer was almost the closest. So, essentially, we know what this is. It's just a mark, and then you put it with a name. But it's not. That's not a brand, right? A brand is what we say. A brand's a promise. It's what you expect when you pick something up. Whether it's in a grocery store or whether it's a flight or a holiday or a hotel, wherever you arrive, you have expectations. And good brands understand what you're thinking about them and manage them so that when you do experience the brand, your expectations are realized and achieved. And just to go back to Nike for a second, I mean, their brand's all about to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And by the way, you have a body, you're an athlete. Okay, so all of us here are athletes. And that's their thinking, they want to bring that through. So when Nike talk about their brand, they don't talk about their swoosh, they don't talk about their logo, they talk about what you're expecting. And if you buy a Nike product and you don't get that sense of innovation and inspiration, they have failed. They've failed you. Right? So a reality today is, in fact, you can't escape brand. No matter what product or service you're in, whether you've got 10 customers, 20, 2,000, you have a brand because you are managing your expectation, you're managing your reputation, what people are expecting you to buy. So even me standing up here today, I have a brand and I need to manage my reputation, my expectation of what you're all going to evaluate me and say how brilliant I am again. Right? But no, seriously, every business today, every service, whether it's a business to business or consumer, when we think about brands, we generally think about the big brands, but every business needs to think about their brand. So, look, in the real world, yeah, facts matter, okay? So how big you are, what's your quality like, what's your value add, these all matter. They're very important. The longest, the highest, the fastest, the shortest, you know, all these things matter. But really what matters most is what you believe. So I could stand up in here and say I'm brilliant, but actually you might not believe me, so it's irrelevant. What I say is irrelevant. So any brand that sort of over-promises or over-communicates what they think they're about, ultimately you'll see through them. And with the power of social media today, we have a much more democratized society and everyone's opinion can get heard. And the days of writing a letter of complaints to a brand are over. You just put your comment up. If someone likes it, they see, they retweet it or whatever it is, and it gathers momentum. And belief is everything. I'm of a generation where I was raised not to judge a book by its cover. Today, my kids judge books by their cover, and you know what? They're dead right. And we do the same. I do the same. And if I don't like the cover, I don't really want to go in. And because there's so many covers out there. It's not like there's a small selection of covers. There's so much opportunity. I can't look at every book. So I have to judge by the cover. So that's where design comes in. Design makes the cover look engaging. Well, actually, there's a cover I'd like to go and look at, right? Or in the bottom. So once we've actually judged, so let's say there's 5 or 6 covers we like. The next filter we have now is we actually want to know why you do what you do. So we want to know from our brands why they are what they are. And particularly in food, we want to know more about, well, who did grow this, or who did cook this, or who did cut this, or if it's in engineering, well, who is the sort of scientist behind this, or who is the brains behind it. So increasingly, brands have to sort of expose their soul a bit. And you know, we all today will think of brands we like, and we like the personality of the individual behind them because we can actually relate to them, or why they've done what they do. So a company not that far from here, they have been growing potatoes for 5 generations, and a couple of years ago they decided, actually, you know what, let's do something with the product. We're fed up giving the product to somebody else, let's now try and they have become arguably, you know, one of the best startups this country's seen in the last 6-7 years, now available in New York. And what's very interesting about their product is you're not looking at a big bag of crisps open on the table. No, you're looking at, they've understood how you use their product. So they've understood you're having the sandwich first, it's more important, and then their product is purely just an accessory to the meal. Try to understand how the customer is going to use your product and then position your product accordingly. Anyone recognize this company? Keenan? So, I mean, you could look at this product and go, well, that's just a piece of machinery, and it looks like it might go in a tractor. And so this is a company that was very successful with metal and making products, agricultural equipment. But to add value, what they realized they needed to do was actually understand how do customers use our product. And they were realizing that the amount of feed that they were putting through their products, the farmer wanted to dial it up and dial that down depending on the weather, depending on the grass, depending on many different variables. So actually they've had to put technology into their products that gives the farmer their versatility. So these companies are more of a feed company now and less of an engineering agricultural machinery business. And so the product gives a sense of there's more to this than meets the eye when you start looking at it. Now I would criticize them for one thing, and that is the eye. I mean, Apple started the eye, now everyone's on the bandwagon, and Aikino, I'm not sure what they're getting at, but it's not original. For a company that is highly original, they've adopted something that is not that original, and therefore I would question them for that. This is another company in the middle of Ireland, probably never heard of it, but Drummond Engineering for many years were innovators in hitches. And they would cleverly develop that a farmer could be driving his tractor and he could change the hitch or he could change what he was towing without getting out of the cab. So it was all automated. And this was very successful, but they wanted to move into the construction sector. And the margins in the construction sector are higher, it's a bigger market. And they needed to have a whole different look because someone in construction will not buy an agricultural product. And these products here now, their science is all in here. So you're able to change the bucket without actually getting out of the cab. Previously you had to basically bang these pins out, remove the bucket, put the pins back in again. And this company now sells from South America to China, and all with a very strong sense of purpose about their brand, about innovation, about design, and a clear sense of purpose. And a very interesting company to check out. So they have a clear sense of purpose. So essentially what brand does is it changes your product from being a commodity to something that's of value. So increasingly, like design is a commodity. engineering is a commodity. How you apply it, what you do with it, that is where you add a level of brand and things start to get interesting. So just to kind of make a point, we know this great brand. So there's two elements. There's actually a product and there's a piece of packaging. Unfortunately, you have to buy the product without seeing the inside. But if you take the ice cream out of that product, you're left with what we call brand equity. And brand equity is a very valuable intellectual property. It's a very valuable asset. It's an intangible asset, but it allows you to do lots of other things. So companies invest heavily in their brand so that they can have different products going through it. So ice cream is ice cream, and in a blind taste, most of us really wouldn't know the difference. But when you put a package around it, we bloody surely know the difference. The other thing about brand to bear in mind is that, brands have personality. Someone mentioned personality, I think it was in this area here. And we all want our brands to have personality. We all want our brands to appeal to us. We all want to appeal to brands as well. But brands, like people, are infallible, and they can easily get made or broken in the marketplace. And if you're not careful in how you manage your brand, you can really go downhill very quickly. So it's not just good enough to sort of define the brand and push it out there. You've got to constantly be managing it, constantly keeping on top of it, and constantly, because if a brand starts to fall, it just will nosedive very quickly indeed. So when we start out trying to help people understand what their brand's about, we hear these words all the time. Oh, it's quality. Oh, it's innovation. Oh, it's service. Like today, they're just commodities. Everyone is innovative. Everyone has got quality, and everyone is trying to give you a 4-star service. So those are no longer good enough. So what we like to get you to think about is, think of your brand not so much as features, but benefits. So when someone uses your brand, what emotional experience are they feeling? Are they feeling, I'm using an expert tool, or I'm feeling relaxed, or I'm feeling engaged, or I'm feeling energized, or I'm feeling, whatever it might be, whatever your product is. Really try to understand what it is your customer does with the product, why they do that, and what they make them feel. And those sort of thoughts should be fed back into the innovation process, so that we're saying, right, we need our customer to feel more like, let's say we're developing a hand tool, and we want our customer to feel like he's a professional craftsperson, or she's a professional craftsperson. We want to take these words and feed them back into the process. So what can we do, how can we innovate our product to make it feel more like an innovative, like a craftsperson? So it's really important to try to understand this. So don't define your brand by what you sell, but think more importantly of the benefits and the solutions that it offers customers. Because often what you sell and what I buy are different. So often people sell, well, it's the tallest, it's the fattest, it's the longest, it's the best quality, it's the whatever it might be. 5 gigabytes, 7 gigabytes, whatever measurement. These are all features. Thank you, 1 minute. But actually what I buy is efficiency, I buy comfort, I buy the benefit of the product. And that's clearly what you're trying to do. The main reason, strong brands have two things. They have strong margin, and any business today wants to have good margin, and they have strong equity value. Investing in your brand won't give you lots more customers. Advertising does that, because that spreads your message around. But investing in brand helps you protect your margin. And there isn't a business today that wouldn't like more margin. We're all under pressure for margin. And the final thought is, so I buy 1 packet for $1.99. I buy 2 packets for €6. Now, if you look closely, they're exactly the same product. And how can you tell they're the same product? KL3 is Tesco's code for Keelings. So, exact same containers. These were probably picked at the same time. They went down the same line. They were packed. One went off to get that label. Which one outsells? For every one of those, they sell 3 of those. That's brand. Power brand. hand. You can argue the commercial side of that as long as you want, but we like our brands, you know. Now, if I'm buying them for a smoothie, I might buy the ones at Tesco. But I'm going to serve them on a plate. I want those ones. Thank you very much.